Over here, they did spawn both on the top of the map. We've got on the right-hand side, the baby blue Nova Protoss player.
Yep, and over on the top left, we have our pink Zerg player, uh, YOLO.
YOLO. And he is sending his overlord in the correct direction to begin with here. So he will scout first. And so far, based on the last map at least, Nova did scout counterclockwise. So if he does the same thing again, then he'll be able to spot him first. But we don't have a probe going out just yet.
Yep, probably
But the
send it out
pylon
pretty
at the
quickly.
ramp, same as it was before.
Yep, another awkward position,
Yeah.
kind of. Our Zerg
Yeah.
player definitely going to be going for hatch first this game, I'm pretty sure, as he has the past two games.
Yeah, definitely. It's there's almost just no reason not to.
Yeah.
Is you're not going to catch your opponent like exposed because it's up a ramp, just a small ramp. So even something like a six pool is going to be usually stopped fairly easily.
Hmm.
And, yeah, he will end up scouting counterclockwise here, and both players will know what each other is up to fairly early on in this game.
Yep, and there goes down to 15 hatch. We'll see if he opts to take a quick third, because it's plausible in this map too for Zerg.
Yeah, you definitely can go for the three hatch before pool and still be safe, particularly if you're in like cross positions or something. But probe will come in, see what's going on, look for a pool, and one will be going down right there.
Probe is going to be scouting for that natural. He knows it's up, but just good to check for it anyway. And it looks
Yeah,
like our Protoss is saving up for his Nexus as well, so this is going to be a 1 gate expand. Well, opting to get the Zealot out first, I guess it
so
makes
down. He will
sense.
get the cyber this time before putting that down, maybe figuring he was a little bit too greedy last time
Mm,
in
yeah.
trying to take the Nexus before. Although on this map, I feel you can get away with it.
And he did see the pull timing.
Yeah.
But YOLO, he has an Overlord parked over the natural for a Protoss player, so he is going to know when he takes that expansion.
Now, I do think the wall off at the ramp here, that's too wide.
Yeah.
He's going to have to put something in that's about two zealots wide. So that can be really hard if a Ling attack does come in. He's going to need something else to block that off. Hopefully, he realizes that because he may think that's enough, but they can just shove past
Right.
the zealots standing right now.
But YOLO is a pretty heavy droner at the early stages of the game. He
Yep.
only makes, I think, like 4 lings, and then uses them to scout. So, unless he moves this Overlord and realizes that he has an opening.
Yeah, if he sees it, may go for it, but I'm not sure whether he'll really notice that or be confident enough in it either. Because of course, a single sentry coming out can also just shut you down by the time you realize it and actually respond to it.
Right. So he's going to be moving the Overlord. Sees the mothership cores out, probably checking for the gas mine and looking at the wall. Um, just by looking at YOLO's vision, though, that seems like a very apparent open wall.
Yeah, it probably does. It definitely looks like he's got a lot of space on the other side of him.
Yeah, but he will be going up to Lair Tech, so no plans for any sudden rushes anytime soon.
Yeah,
And
he may also very well look at that and say, okay, there's obviously no aggression coming anytime soon, so I'm just going to drone
right,
until you make me do it. And there is the Stargate coming out this time as well. So even though we may get early Phoenixes, there's not going to be any ground aggression or anything that's going to just win the game. So YOLO is completely safe in doing this thus far.
yep, and YOLO going for the same build, whatever works. He's going for roaches again,
Yeah,
this time a little bit later, not hitting right now, as he did the last game. Forge going down for our player Nova, and uh, I'm not sure because I don't play Zerg, but it seems to me that YOLO each game has gotten very late upgrades.
yeah,
And actually going for a Spire right now at almost 7 minutes.
yeah. That's pretty aggressive. It may work out for him. Um,
Right.
there's a lot of room like behind this natural base for the Protoss player, where you can definitely get some damage done with Mutas. And if he's not seeing a lot of defense, the thing is that he doesn't know is that Phoenixes are coming out onto the map, so they're going to deal with low numbers of
Yeah,
Mutas very well.
that's what I was gonna say. He needs
Yeah,
to send that. He sent his Overlord in just a little bit too early, like literally as that probe was making the pylon that holds the Stargate.
yeah,
So he needs to send his Overlord in again just to double check because he really hasn't seen anything.
yeah. No significant indicator of what the tech path is going to be. Robo is coming down here as well for Nova. It's almost the same as he was doing in the first game, but I feel that YOLO, instead of having the early third base, is actually further ahead on his tech curve this time around and
Yeah,
maybe a little more focused on what he's going to do. I think by the time this Spire finishes, he's going to get 8 mutas out at the same time and go make an attack. And
yeah,
that's
there you go.
exactly what he's doing. Yeah.
The only thing is if Nova, well, it doesn't take much micro to fight against mutas with
No,
Phoenixes.
not with 4 Phoenixes, which will be available. But he
Yeah,
may just catch him by surprise quickly. You can very quickly obliterate the probes in a line before someone responds, and these Phoenixes will be moving out over towards the Zerg base.
I'm sending a hallucinated one as well just to check for the third. Oh, and it's gonna even see the mutas,
Yeah,
so pretty good for him. Immediately upon seeing mutas, though, the Phoenixes
yeah,
do turn
pulls right
back.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's very unfortunate for a Zerg player that they got spotted completely. And this time, instead of stopping at 4, he's going to continue on and make a 5th Phoenix. And I expect to see more, although he's supply blocked there temporarily, just becoming free now. And yeah, the Phoenix, I think, going exactly where they needed to be, that natural mineral line.
yeah. But meanwhile, behind this, YOLO is actually just droning up. 12 drones being produced right now, getting the infestation pit as well, and grabbing another queen. I mean, but look at the vision like outside of Nova's space, though. He has vision of any ground army that's going to be moving up.
We do get the start of the micro fight here as Phoenix almost look like they're moving in slow mo,
Yeah,
and not actually opting to go for the mutas onto their own side of the map here.
yep,
Spore
YOLO
crawlers are being put down by YOLO.
putting down static defense, not opting to create more mutas right now.
Yeah,
He's actually going up to hive tech already. Um, and producing a bunch of overlords. I guess that helps spend the minerals.
yeah, he has had obviously problems with supply blocking earlier. He may also think, hey, I've got a bunch of overlords out in vulnerable positions on the map. These Phoenix could just pick them all off, so I want to make sure I'm okay. Sticky V
Ah,
key is killing me. Or maybe his key just stuck down and he made a bunch of overlords by mistake.
you should contact me to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Keyboard expert, Sifo.
Meanwhile, over here at the bottom right, we have a warp prism heading over. But that overlord is going to spot it, just
Yeah,
depending on the path, or depending if he chooses to repath or not.
yeah, he
We'll see.
swung so wide for safety, but that's going to work directly against him.
Yeah, we'll see if YOLO's paying attention to his minimap once it passes. He might be, in a air battle because that's a lot of phoenixes.
7 Phoenix will come over and
Compared
go
to
after this
this.
huge pack of overlords here. Be
Yeah,
able to pick 3 off immediately with no contest. And the mutas will come over, but they're then just going to get kited back.
hmm and our Protoss player actually went for the Fleet Beacon too, so he might be getting the Anion Pulse Crystals, which gives
Yes.
Phoenixes extra range.
And
And
Phoenix
right now,
trying to stay out of the range of the spore crawler, but just kind of picking things apart from the outside.
and that Warp Prism did pass the Overlord, but like I said earlier, I think he was too preoccupied microing his mutas to actually notice.
I would agree. I would think so. At this point, he was just pulling them forward and back. They will come into a spore crawler though potentially, but he will load up. I think first with a warp in over here.
Yeah, it
Expect this to be 4 zealots.
depends on who's paying more attention right now.
Yeah, and it is the pulse crystal research that's now being chronoed out, and Phoenix production still actually coming here.
Yeah, interesting choice. YOLO is going for both the Greater Spire and the Ultralisk Cavern. If he gets enough Ultralisks, he could actually just overpower that ground army and kill every base, and the
Oh,
Phoenixes
definitely.
couldn't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, there's nothing that they could possibly do about it. Yeah, the Greater Spire is really odd here because, of course, you're going to need a large number of corruptors to deal with the original problem before you could ever think about going to Broodlords.
Yeah.
Uh, just trying to put Spore Crawlers down at that base. If the Phoenixes stay perfectly still, then that will be fine. But I don't think they will.
There's still that warp prism parked under the Nastro that hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Uh, Huge flock of Phoenixes flying home. And what I mentioned again in the other two games, YOLO hasn't started any Evo chambers.
No, yeah. He's got no upgrades at this point, whereas the air upgrades, air weapons, are going as well as the level 2 weapons and even shields for a Protoss player. So he's obviously looking towards a mixed army of ground and air
Yeah.
here, even throwing down a Dark Shrine now. Although there are definitely ample Spore Crawlers in place, he can probably find some hole a little later on.
Yep. So YOLO creating a bunch of Corruptors,
Yep.
Ultralists, and 10 Zerglings. The 10 Zerglings was a little weird, but
Yeah, even adding on adrenal glands for the Zerglings. That's
that's
especially it's especially weird. But
well. I mean, I think a creative way to play out this game would be to go
yeah,
Cracklings and
mass
Ultralisks.
ground. Yeah,
Yeah, just because the Phoenixes won't be able to pick up all these individual
yeah,
Zerglings
links.
and can't pick up Ultralisks anyway. But he is producing, I would say, the correct units. He's making infestors to try to catch off the Phoenixes. He's got a good amount of, well, a decent amount of Corruptors and Mutalisks, and that's a lot of Ultralisks that are about to pop out right now.
Yeah, definitely. Those will do well. And our Protoss player, just realizing they're in the game, is switching into Immortal technology. But he's got one Colossus already out, and I hope YOLO doesn't drop here. We've obviously been seeing little spikes of lag, and I think it's YOLO kind of losing packets a little bit. But despite Nova controlling the sky so well, he's also just 50, 60 supply behind.
Yeah, and his ground army is, to say
Yeah,
the
it's
least,
just really good right now.
right.
And even the air, like the corruptors, 7 corruptors, Phoenix can probably deal with that. It just would take a long time and it kind of takes them out of the fight.
Mhm. Well, Yellow needs to rally his army. He has 3 Ultralists kind of just sitting, 6 Ultralists just sitting back at home,
Yes.
and they are not going to be in this fight. But he still has 5 Ultralists here at the front. He's going to be attacking into a couple of gateways and archons. The Immortals are actually still back at home, so they're not going to be in this ground fight. And look, the Phoenixes are just sitting there. They're absolutely useless in this fight. Ultralisk just cleaving through everything right now. The Corruptors and Mutalisks are kind of just running into the Phoenixes now. He whiffs that Fungal, and these Phoenixes might be able to clean up the Corruptors if he kites properly, but these Ultralisks and the reinforcements coming are just going to tear down the Proton space.
Yeah, like I said, he will be able to clean it up, but that's all they're doing
Right,
is
and what
just
are the
cleaning that
Phoenixes
up, and
doing
that's
now?
just a waste of a bit of the resources. This last Ultralisk will fall. And while we were saying that, DTs were warped into the main base and natural of our Zerg player and are kind of going to work
Yep.
at this natural base.
Putting that Warp Prism to good use.
He may
And they're
even
going to
just
target
outright
down
lose
this
the
hive.
hive here.
Yeah. So
I
again,
feel
Nova out
if the rest of
multitasking
the
his opponent.
ultras were with that main army, they would be ripping down the third right now, but they're not.
Right. And it looks like YOLO is just going for the YOLO as he pulls the drones and everything he has. Just
Yeah,
going for a full out attack.
everything coming across. Um,
Everything going back.
See, and this is the thing: is he did the adrenal gland? I wonder if by adrenal glands he meant he thought he was upgrading Ling's speed because
Yeah.
he's just getting Ling speed now, which I didn't even realize he never had invested
Right.
in the game. But everything will come across, and he's just trying to win with this force.
Uh, I don't know. There's a Void Ray out, which does kind of clean up Colossi.
Yeah,
Or
given
clean
that
up the
there's nothing
Ultralisks.
left in the air whatsoever,
And
could be a bit of a problem.
the Colossus just destroying all these drones. It is going to go down to all these Ultralisks. And Zealots are going to get straight up part 2, even with 0-0 Ultralisks. but eventually the Protoss army is just going to be able to clean this up, even with just the 2 Void Rays.
Yeah.
And our Zerg has lost way too much to stay in the game. Yeah,
Maybe
a little
a
bit too
little
low,
too
yo.
yellow. Yeah, I do agree with that assessment. I think he could have recovered even with the warpins at home. And it looks, no, now's a good time to disconnect. And there he goes. So Nova